What's going on, everybody? I want to get into our New York Knicks. We are down 3-1. What is going on? What is going on? I'm going to rattle some things off. It was tough for me to watch the rest of the game. There was a period in time where I stopped watching and I was following the score because, as Knicks fans, sometimes we could get superstitious. And I damn sure felt as if I turned the channel that they may pick up the score. It didn't work out well for us or me. But I'm at the point now where I got to come to several realizations. All right? Of course, I was defending my team, defending our squad to the death. Because that's what we do, okay? But there was a hint of delusion, and this is why I say a hint of delusion. Because it's not 100% delusion. What it is New York Knicks fans, as well as every other fan of their team in the NBA, you watch 82 games. You watch 82 games that are played by your team, if you're a loyal fan. And the difference, the reason why an opposite fan base can look at a team and say they're not that impressive, and then have a run like the New York Knicks made where they're in the second round, and there's some parts of the fan base, opposite fan base, who's just like, wait, they're going to fall, watch. They're waiting to see your team fall, and it doesn't happen at the time frame they expect it to. And there's also a reason why the media, who haven't watched them all year, are proven wrong when the team produces the way it did, such as this year. And I say all that to say, when you watch your team all 82 games and you study them and you critique them, then the reason why fans can be so confident in their team, even if they're down 2-1, even if the product on the floor looks a little bit shaky at first in the playoffs, it's because we've watched this team show flashes of stardom, or flashes of superstardom, or flashes of being able to produce and gel as a team. Hell, we had 2 separate 8-game win streaks. One was a 9-game win streak. We had a player score 57 points. We had a player go on a 40-point run with a few games. We had a player who was in competition for the 6th Man of the Year award. We had a player who was in competition for a Most Improved Player award. We had another All-Star this game. We're not delusional. These are the things that we've seen come to fruition this season. These are the things. So I laugh when fan bases, the ops, I laugh when media, the ops, I laugh when fellow Knicks fans, the ops, can turn to their brethren and say, nah, son, you wildin'. We wasn't all that it cracked up to be. Listen, I got news for you. Well, first off, before I get into that, shout out, I'm here. I'm eating a little bit of humble pie, washing it down with the remainder of the water. My guy Franklin with a C, the Miami Heat fan, who was like, you down 3-1 with the crying emoji. I tip my hat off to you. I said I would. Series ain't over. But I said I would because I was confident that we would come in and we would represent ourselves well. And the things that I was looking for us to do, we did. You just have to tip off your cap if you're facing a better team. You got to tip your cap off if you face a team who's battle tested. Can't be upset at your squad if they run up against a buzzsaw. So salute to all of my Miami Heat fans who may visit this page, who may sit here to laugh at the responses to Knicks fans. You deserve it. Your team is up right now. But the job ain't finished. I'll say that. And don't let us win this series. because I'm going to spend the whole next round saturating your pages with orange and blue hate. Saturating. So don't lose this 3-1. Don't pull a Golden State. Don't pull it. Not this year. But I just want to say this, man. Humble Pie, once again, shout out to that Heat fan. Leaving the message. We were going at it, but once again, we all passionate about our teams. So you got to salute when you need to salute. And you got to show respect when you need to. At least that's my theory. The Miami Heat and Coach Spoelstra are battle tested. And these are some of the things that are just coming to the surface from the very beginning. You know, I'm always sitting there like, you know, sometimes the NBA likes to put people and coaches on a pedestal. And to an extent, I think they were doing that with Spoelstra. But you got to call a spade a spade. He's been consistent. He is no longer riding on the coattails of Pat Riley. This man has won championships. He's proven. He's a proven winner. He has the eye. He has the magic eye, Hoyt. He has that. And he doesn't blink. He doesn't blink. And his team is a reflection of him. They don't blink. They're battle tested. They're mentally tough. Defensively, he's an elite mind. So, you just got to give props to those people who the props are due. All right? They came in as bullies. And we came into this postseason as bullies. We've had bully tendencies all season long. We flexed some of those bully tendency muscles on Miami. And the thing about the Miami Heat is they don't forget. They know that we match up pretty well. In some instances, we have an advantage. But what they do know is they've been in those big spots. They know when teams who are relatively new to those big moments get fatigued. They know because they're battle tested, they can anticipate how teams are going to come out and how to counteract those actions that they put forth when they come out after a halftime. They're battle tested. And not only is it Coach Spoelstra that's dissecting film, that's looking at tendencies. You know Coach Pat Riley, one of the best coaching minds. You know he's watching film and he's picking up the phone saying, Spo, you see this? I know Tibbs. This is my movement. This is my action. He got this for me. This is how you counter it. You don't think Pat Riley is talking to Spoelstra in order to counter all the things that Tibbs is learning? That Tibbs is running? So when you have that, it's a tough hill to climb. It is. It's a tough hill to climb. And as a Knicks fan, it's tough to see. As a Knicks fan who predicted that this New York Knicks team will go to the finals, I predicted it because of all of those moments we've experienced. The scratching the surface levels that the team has reached this year. And you just hoped that the juice that comes from the playoffs will help them break through the glass ceiling that is there between being a good team and then being a great team, or a team that has good players that have great moments. I was hoping that would take place. But I think a lot more of what it is that we've seen is that it's not our time just yet. I just don't think it's our time. I think you need several things in order for it to be your time. I think you need to experience being down 3-1. I think you need to experience whatever this outcome is going to be for this series. If the New York Knicks make history and come back from this 3-1 deficit and win, that's going to propel you. That's an experience in which you got yourself into stuff together. You got to get yourself out of stuff together. As a coaching staff, as a team full of players, as a front office, as a fan base. We got to get out of this together because we got into it together. Those are some of the things that can take you to another level. Those are some of the things that will speed up the clock and determine whether or not it is your time, or if you're just not ready, it's not your time yet. And that's the conclusion that I've come, just based on the eye test and what I've seen. I just get the sense it's not our time. Players that we've seen produce in big spots, players who we've seen and we've grown to love and root for because of their budding swagger, is missing. And something that we got to be reminded of first and foremost, is that the team that we have wasn't supposed to do all this season. Simple. They weren't supposed to be this far along. They weren't. Knicks fans didn't predict them to be this far. NBA analysts and experts did not predict this team to go this far. They called it themselves. Do we want IQ to have a better playoffs? Absolutely. Do we want Quentin Grimes to find his three-point stroke? Absolutely. Would we love to see Tom Thibodeau break out something new and add a different element or ingredients to the playbook that makes a noticeable and effective difference on this series? We 100% do. But everybody is learning together. And contrary to a lot of the people on social media, the players win you games. The players have to execute the game plan offensively and defensively. I spent a great part of the season calling Jalen Brunson a superstar, and he has characteristics of it. And he showed up a lot of times, but he has to be better defensively in order for him to truly be able to hold that title of being on a borderline or actually being a superstar. You got to impact your position on both ends, or produce enough of offense that your defense you can be overlooked. Julius Randle is still ours until he's not. But there's not going to be one particular player, not Julius Randle, not IQ, not Quentin Grimes. There's not going to be one particular player who can break out and help us win this series. We have to do it together. We rise together and we fall together. And as a result, there's just a lot of things that we're struggling with. Okay? So I just wanted to get on and say this. It's not over just yet. There's one more game that we have that's in front of us. We take it game by game at this point. It is a best of 5 series. And the New York Knicks need to sweep at this point. We need to sweep. Let's make history. And if it ends earlier than we expect it to, I know as Knicks fans, we're going to be classy and we're going to applaud this team. But for those people who will be calling for the names and calling for the heads of players, you have recency bias. The front office was left to do their job, and they gave us a team that made it to the second round if the season ends. Let's all focus and lock in and look towards supporting our team, having the best fan outcry, the most confidence, the most rabidness in MSG. Let's focus on that. Jimmy Butler should not be comfortable. Matt Strus should not be cocky and peacocking all over Madison Square Garden. Duncan should not be gyrating and looking towards the crowd. They should be uncomfortable and they should be dejected when they leave Madison Square Garden with their heads down and the New York Knicks live another day. That's the type of atmosphere and environment we should put them in. It should be comparable to when the Atlanta Hawks were on the other side. So I look forward to seeing what it is that we do. I'm with my team until the very end, but Miami is representing. and they're showing why they are not a number 8 seed literally. They're showing why they just needed to get their team healthy and back on track. But once again, the series score is 3-1, not 4-1. So I say this, same thing applies to life. That applies to our team. If there ain't no struggle, there's no progress. And not only are we here, but we got to have next. Because if we don't have next, then we got next year. Sheer Brain Snakes. I'm out. Peace.